Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome to the show. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I know I am. And I am a #1 international best-selling author, life and business transformational success coach, illuminating and empowering others to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and forge a strong foundation to soar to success. For more information, visit us at ldcstrategies.com or LorianneCasdia.com. Today on our show, I am pleased to say we have Addy Kujawa. She is one of my sister authors from Women Who Dream, and just a most spectacular daydream believer that you can ever imagine. Welcome to the show, Abby.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So glad you're here. So you have over 20 years of executive leadership for professional associations. You're a CEO of American Alliance of Orthopedic Executives, as well as the Radical Change Group. You are certified Jack Canfield Success Principles trainer, certified association executive, and certified digital event strategist. You have been a frequent speaker on a variety of topics, and you're brilliant at this, including personal branding, strategic planning, how to sell, how to negotiate, creating your true life destination roadmap, goal setting with actually works, and oh my gosh, so many more things. And you consider yourself a personal and professional development junkie. I hear you on that. I feel you on that too. Constantly learning and trying new things. And Addy is a cheerleader and a creator of safe places, works hard to inspire and motivate others to see new possibilities and to believe in pursuing their own dreams. And the most important aspect is you have two beautiful children you adore, Xavier and Sophie. So glad you're here. So much to talk about, so much in common. You know, we're both Canfield trainers. We both do the Canfield methodology. We actually saw each other recently out in California. You currently live where?
I am in Noblesville, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, we met out in California. We had a really good week plus, right? And learned a lot, shared a lot of experiences, and oh my gosh, you were just so brilliant at what you do. So, you know, let's do a little shameless plugging of Women Who Dream. It's a book that we're both in. We're so proud of. I loved working through this process with you. And what was the journey like for you as you became an author?
It was so surreal, I would have to say. I wanted to be an author since I was a little kid. Like, that has just always been something that I thought was beyond me, but it was a wish. And so when I actually had someone that I knew in the Canfield training community as I was learning and growing and participating in all that work, who recommended me. She introduced me by email to the publisher, Kate Butler, and wrote this beautiful paragraph. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. And I knew her just like, you know, from participating in things together, but it was just such a wonderful introduction. And then I interviewed with the publisher, Kate Butler, and which was stressful. And you're just talking about your history kind of and what you would want to talk about. And you kind of, I guess, what mark you'd like to make, because, I mean, once it's in a book, it's in a book. It's there forever. Yeah. And it was kind of an intense process. And I went through a lot of ups and downs, like being so excited and telling everybody about it because I was invited to participate in the book then. And then through moments of self-doubt and, you know, does anybody really care what I went through? And what do I really want to say? What am I trying to do?
Is it going to be impactful, inspiring, healing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to impact anybody? Is it worth telling? Am I telling it right? Those kinds of things. But it was such a journey of growth, too, of really looking at some of my past and seeing it for what it brought me. And instead of just looking at it as this, like, negative or tragic story or this horrible thing, this moment in time, you know, or a few moments in time, and going, oh my gosh, this really gave something back to me. This really actually changed the trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
And made me, it gives back to you in a way that I don't think we always think about when we think about the hurtful, hard moments of our lives. We don't really think about how they serve us in the end.
Well, those pivotal points are really huge opportunities, because you have two choices, and that happens to be my chapter. But your two choices are whether you stay there and don't pivot, or take that leap of faith and pivot and go into something new, go into another direction, try something new, and learn from what it was that you were supposed to learn from the stressful situation. From greatest tragedy comes great opportunity for change. And you decided to take that change.
Yeah.
So your chapter, Daydream Believer, is about what?
Well, it's about, I would say, like growing up small town Wisconsin and having a dream of living in a big city, and making my mark on the world, being successful, being somebody. And it just has a few little pieces in there about the struggle of my childhood.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
It's really well written. It's a beautiful piece. I really encourage people, pick up the Women Who Dream book, read the chapter Daydream Believer, because it will inspire you. It's just beautiful story. I love how you wrote it.
Thank you. It was, it's just, I forgot. That was so nice. I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
So growing up in Wisconsin.
Well, so I think just having this little dream, but feeling like I'm nowhere. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and how is this ever how can I be anything, do anything? And I worked a lot as a kid. Like, I was always trying to figure out the situation. What could I do? But when I was young, my family went on a trip to Chicago, and we went to a restaurant called Ed DeBevick's. And if anybody's been there, they know, they're familiar with it. And I was like, I didn't even know, like, blown away. I was this young kid, and all these adults were at the table. And at the time, it was like, you respected your elders. You didn't talk back. Kids are to be seen, not heard, all that kind of stuff. And in this restaurant, these people were so rude to the adults, and I was there for it. I loved it. And then they got up on the tables and danced, and were so free and just full of life and love. And it just was so exciting. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to live in Chicago one day. And that was my dream. And I didn't know how I was going to get there, but through a series of events and things, I moved by myself, twice, once to Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin, of course, and then, once to Chicago by myself, or without a job. I mean, I went to Madison by myself without a job. I just showed up. I was like, okay, first job I need is a restaurant so I can eat, and figure out everything from there.
Talk about being a dreamer. I love it. I think, what a great story.
Yeah. And just like, just continuing to, I think, learning at the end, about standing up for yourself, and about resiliency, and again, really, I would tell people about my story, and to be like, wow, oh my gosh, I would never do that. I would never do that. And it's funny, because when you're stepping through those moments, it's like, I don't know that I thought of doing anything else. I mean, not that I didn't want to give up, and I was sad and cried myself to sleep in my apartment with no furnishings, and eating over my, ramen noodles and things like that. But
we've all been there. Oh my goodness.
Right.
We've all been there, which is amazing to me, Addie, because, I know you now. I didn't know you during that transformation, and we have many transformations in our lives, if we're lucky, right? But I see you as this fierce leader who does make a difference, a significant difference, and you're so impactful. So when you tell your story, I always sit there and go, I don't know that, Addie. I only know this fierce, strong, amazing, supportive, loving human who is just like so valuable to the humans you touch. I can't even put it into proper words. Just amazing transformation.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
It's those pivotal points though in our lives that, give us those options. And like you said, it wasn't even an option at that point, because it's just what you were going to do.
Right. It was the next step. It was what, I had that certainty. Like I needed to be in Madison or needed to be in Chicago, needed the next step in my career, needed to go back to school. Like, absolutely.
So let's fast forward here because I met you in Canfield training, and at Jack Canfield, for those who aren't connecting the dots, is if you know Chicken Soup for the Soul, that's Jack Canfield. If you know The Secret, he was in The Secret. He's very significant in the mentoring coaching world. He is the success coach for the United States, basically, and he is the movers and shakers and our role models up there with Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor. Oh my gosh, I can name more people than you can even imagine. Mm-hmm. But Jack that's where we met. So why did you become a Canfield trainer, and what was your motivation, and tell me about the process. How did you get involved with it?
Okay, so I feel like there's a little woo-woo, so I'm just going to warn you.
I love woo-woo.
And I'm listening.
And our listeners love woo-woo. If they listen to me, they love woo-woo.
That is awesome, because I have to say I wasn't a big believer in the woo-woo. But in 2020 changed a lot of lives. It changed a lot of things for a lot of people.
Sure.
And for the AOE that I worked at that time, that was the only place I was a CEO, and it was really pivotal for the organization. The United States shut down 6 weeks before our annual conference. We were expecting 1,100 people, 50,000 square foot exhibit hall. Everything was set and ready to roll. And
that was the American Alliance of Orthopedic Executives, AOE.
Correct.
Okay, yep.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome.
And we had 6 weeks to pivot to a virtual meeting.
Oh dear God.
And so, it was crazy, and the hours were obscene. And I was working from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., 7 days a week, because we were getting together all the technology. We were talking to all the vendors, all the members. Really people panicked at that first point, and it was all about getting your money back. That's all. And it wasn't about, we've got to help this nonprofit. We've got to support them. We've got to, nothing. It was a run. It was a run on let's get our money back. So it was personal calls to every single vendor, many, many calls to each vendor. And it just went on for months and months. There was just no end. I cried every night because we were doing everything we could to retain the money, use reserves. I took a huge pay cut. We still ended up having to lay off a few people. There just wasn't a way around it. And it was just, it was hard relationship wise. It was hard on my kids. My oldest was a senior and supposed to graduate that summer. So no graduation. It was just awful. And I just rolled into the holiday season at the end of the year, and I was probably at the lowest I've ever been in my life. I was just like, what am I doing? How am I doing this? I had started the Radical Change Group in that fall, just in hopes of being inspired. But I was like, what am I going to do with it though?
Right.
And so sometime in December, I remember sitting on my couch watching Netflix on my computer while the others were gaming on the big TV. And I went and checked my email, and somehow I had an email from Jack Canfield. Not his company. Mm-hmm. And it was talking about Train the Trainer online. And I don't know how I got the email. I'd never gotten a Jack Canfield email before in my life. I did have one of his books, and I had been a big fan of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I had one of his book, Success Principles, that I had carried with me for years. It was yellowed, but I'd never read it. And I got that email. I was like, wow, this sounds like something I could really use. And it was talking about how to really transform your life, but through actionable tools. And so I thought, I'm going to do this. So I gave it to myself as a Christmas present, and it was an online training program. And I did it, and I started implementing the tools and the resources, and I was like, gosh, I just felt so much more empowered. I was able to, I felt like instead of the world rushing by me, I could pause and be like, wait, what do I want to do? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
So becoming very proactive versus so reactive, and, talking to my kids about it, and just working through some of the things at work, even sharing things with the people at the office. And I just fell all the way in. I took every program they had, and it was just really working on myself. And I ended up doing a big project, and in the success principles, there's like 67 principles.
Right.
And one that I really connected to was Incompletes and Messes. And it was talking about how you need to clean up your life. Like, we all have those things that just keep dinging us. And I was like, at my home at the time, I was like, oh, it's so true. My garage is packed. Every closet's packed. Everything's in disarray. I hadn't painted or fixed anything. There were light fixtures that didn't work. There were electrical outlets that didn't work. There was doors with holes in them, doors off. I mean, really, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was such a negative thing. So I dug into that project and worked through the house. And it was a month-long process, of course, but it was ridiculous, like crazy how much differently I felt following that process. And it just opened things up. And I started doing the visioning, and I just started thinking about, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my relationships to look like? And I just started working and putting myself out there and being vulnerable, sharing where I'm stuck, sharing where I'm having struggles, but also putting out there to celebrate successes and doing that for others too, like being there in support and celebration. I kept doing the work.
It's about doing the work. And when we do the work ourselves, it's easy for us to help other people because we've been there, we've done that, and we always serve our former selves. No matter what job you're in, you're serving a former self. A former version of yourself. So, and that you dug in and created that open space. You created opportunity to bring new things in, but before it was so cluttered, you didn't have the space to bring it in. So universe didn't know what to deliver to you.
No, you're so right. And there's no clarity there.
Right.
I mean, I feel like I was just stuck hoping for something different, but without any clarity. Well, here's whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be something different, but certainly not what you want. But doing that work, and then I found out that you could really be certified in that training to train others. And I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like, this was magical to me. But it's like, it's actions you do, but it feels magical because the results are crazy exponential when you put the actions to work.
Yeah. And that's why the success principles that you and I are trained on, and we can help other people with the steps and going through it. When you're doing it, you're doing it for yourself, and you're making it happen at the level you need to take you from where you are to where you want to be. You and I work in that gap between where they are and where they want to be. We work with you in that gap area to help you jump that hurdle. So, and you're right. I love the way, you say it is the transformation. The success principles transform your life with actionable tools. So it's not just yak, yak, yak. We're talking the talk. We're talking the talk and walking the walk with you. And that's something that I watch you do. You're like, yeah, okay, let's do this together. Let us do this together. And I get it. It's so funny. Your story is similar to mine as far as all of a sudden I had this email. Somebody says, well, how did you get involved? I'm like, I have no idea. All I know is all of a sudden I had this train the trainer opportunity. It looked really good. I knew who Jack Canfield was. I had been watching him for years. Bob Proctor trained, Tony Robbins trains. And I was just interested, but I couldn't tell you how that ended up in my inbox. I can't tell you when I made that decision for myself to jump in. Did the train the trainer, and then there's 3 levels, and now we're both methodology Canfield methodology trainers, where it's experiential, and to me that's the best way to learn. I learn best that way. A talking head doesn't do me much good, but getting in there and being able to apply principles to my life, that to me is juicy and fun. So that when you and I are teaching it to other people, the people who are receiving the training from us, they're learning how to apply it to their life. So everybody's attacking it, if you will, or addressing it wherever they're sitting, wherever they are in their life, because we're all in different stages, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And it's so motivating. So motivating. I love the process.
Yeah, I do too. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's a great story of how you do, you just jumped in. And again, that it's, for me, I feel like it's divinely guided, that this came into both of our lives, and how we are in each other's life, and how we wrote a book together and then met out in California a couple of months later.
Yes.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. It is crazy. It's amazing.
It really is. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. We're here with Abby. We're going to take a short little break and come back and continue our conversation. So many things to talk about with Abby. I'm so excited. I have heard a buzz about this retreat. I can't wait to talk to her about it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. Grateful you're here. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, product or not-for-profit, or if you have a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. Email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And whether your goal is improving your health, increasing prosperity in business, developing a business and marketing strategy, or nurturing your spiritual growth, you are in the right place. We can help you shift your mindset, harness your talents, remove resistance, and rise above your limitations. You will be empowered to create your desired reality as we guide you down those. We have a result-based approach of shifting mindset and achieving goals in business through personalized strategies. So we will show you how to do it utilizing our proven 3 pillars of success: physical, intellectual, and spiritual level. So we look forward to helping you. If you're interested, please visit us at ldcstrategies.com. In the meantime, let's go back to talking to our beautiful guest, Addy. She is a daydream believer. That's the name of her chapter in Women Who Dream. But Addy is so much more than that. And as we were discussing, I've heard this buzz. It's all over the place about your retreat in Nashville. Oh my gosh, tell us about it.
So, it's funny because the longer I do the work, the more I have learned to really trust my gut. And the first true retreat I had ever attended was in February of 2021 and February of 2022. October of 2021. Okay, anyway, not that.
It was before.
I had never been to a true retreat before. I've been to conferences, personal and professional. Tony Robbins, Date with Destiny, all those kinds of things, all kinds of different conferences. But a retreat was a whole different animal for me, and I loved it.
I love them.
The environment. I loved the intimacy. I loved, the community. Yeah. At a retreat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was blown away. And by February of 2022. I was like, I want to do my own retreat. Like, I would really love to do my own retreat, and I would just do it. The difference for me was, so I also would love to travel the world, and I haven't. I have kids and job, and I just made it a priority. And so I wanted to marry the transformational training of Jack Canfield's work, so that certification that I earned, along with travel. And so I was like, the first most fun place I could think of, I wanted to do it in the U.S. first, was Nashville. And so I put together this itinerary that included, it was called Destination Creation. And the whole purpose was to come together and really dig into what we wanted, what it looked like. And then the difference, I think, is creating a roadmap, and not just, like for real, like a real roadmap. Like, here are the steps we are going to take over the next year. And then we broke it down to the next 6 months, the next 3 months, down to what in the next 30 days needs to happen, like a true map of what we needed to do, so that when people left my retreat, they knew what they were doing over the next year to get to where they wanted to go. But then on the other side of that, so that was conversations, that was visioning, that was presentation, that was a conversation. Sure. But then the other part that I put in, that I added, was experiencing Nashville. So I took my group of attendees to Music Row. We saw live music. We went to the Ryman Auditorium, and I made sure that we could go to the front. We went down to the front of Ryman Auditorium, stood up to the microphone, and with the work that we had done before going to the Ryman, we spoke like our phrase, our truth, so that we could speak it into existence at this iconic venue. Yeah. And we recorded it, so everybody has that to listen to forever, pictures, all those kinds of things. We did local shopping. And then we also went to a breakfast at, what's it? I'm blanking all of a sudden, but it is it's a restaurant and an organization that supports women who they're helping get off the streets of prostitution, sex trafficking, things like that.
Right.
And it's a restaurant and a store. So they provide job training and jobs. But so as a community of women supporting each other, we went and had a meal to support another community of women.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. It was the most, I don't know, like it was exciting and motivational and inspirational. I could barely sleep the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And go ahead. Sorry.
The energy and the vibration must have been surreal. I know when I do retreats, I love that. I don't sleep either, by the way. I can't because I'm so excited for the next day and I know what's coming because it's my retreat and I'm creating it for everyone and I want everything to be just right for them and meet them where they are. And it sounds like it was just a full circle, completely, really well worked out and very mindful retreat. And that's real important about retreats. Coaches, if you get a coach, when you get a coach, always make sure your coach has a coach. That's a real important thing. And when you go on retreats, make sure that those retreats are being mindful of your time and you're getting something out of it. So you really want to know what that itinerary looks like. And I know I heard about it. The feedback was ridiculous. I mean, so many enthralled people. They loved everything from mapping out their own lives to really having the experiences that you have. And you're very experiential. And I think we get that as Canfield trainers anyway, is experience helps our memories. Our memories help us vision what could be. And our could be's, our dreams and our vision become our goals and our reality. So it is just natural to do things like this. And you have the energy for like 100 people. I love being around your energy. It's like so positive and so happy and so bubbly and just warm and genuine. And I love that about you, about the retreats. Just amazing. Totally amazing.
Thank you.
What was your biggest aha moment this year?
Oh, what was my biggest aha moment of this year? I think I would say how quickly change can actually happen in your life. Because I think for myself, I spent a lot of time just bemoaning my situation. Whether anything, right? Your relationships, your work, anything.
Sure.
I think and I think it was what I've learned is like, holy cow, the work works. Like I know people say that, whatever, but the work works in light of like, I don't think it takes a lot of work. I really don't think it has to take a lot of work. I don't think you have to do the hustle culture. I don't think you have to, do 30 different things every day, or wake up super early or go to bed super late. I think if you prioritize what you really want in your life, and then you step out what it would take to get there, and then you just take some steps every day, one step a day even, to move forward, the transformation in your life will be crazy. You just need to do it for longer than a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like that was surprising to me because I am one of those that would fall off after a couple of weeks, right? I try something for a few weeks, like, oh, it's not working for me. And then I would just cry and be upset.
Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is I find is that the people who do that, they stop just shy of where they were going to have their breakthrough. And that's when you're getting down and you're getting frustrated and you're just like, this doesn't work. Trust me, just stay in it for one more week. Just push through that one more week, because that means you're on the precipice of a change that is going to be life changing. I promise you. Am I right?
Yes. I absolutely agree. Hands down. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that process. And you're right. Stay in it. Just take one step towards your goal every day. We have what's called the rule of 5, which are doing 5 things before noon every day. Some little things. I'm not talking big, huge projects. I'm talking about little pieces of maybe bigger, larger projects, but little steps towards your goal to make sure you're doing. And then the rest of the day, you could do whatever you want, as long as you do those 5 things. So this way, you're always going in the direction of your goals. It's almost like playing golf. You just want the ball to stay in front of you. And if you could do that, you're doing good on the golf course. You're also doing really good in life if you just keep your goal in front of you and you keep working towards it. And universe will give us tests and try to challenge us off of our course. And that's where a coach comes in. Someone like Addy, who can come in and help guide you to keep you on course so that you keep moving forward towards your goals. And that's the challenge, is you can't do it alone. I will tell you, you cannot do this alone. You need a team. You need to surround yourself with people who are going to be your biggest cheerleaders, cheer you on. And that's what this community does. I'm fortunate. We're fortunate. We're surrounded by a community of coaches. We all support one another. And then we all help each other's clients. We support each other's clients. You know, I know that when I get stuck with a client, I'll call some other coaching friends, maybe you, to say, hey, what do you do? And can you jump on a call with me with this client? Let's see if we can get them out of this little place that they're in. I just can't get them to take that next step. So I need a little bit of help. That's the coolest thing about our community, is that we surround ourselves with these high vibing, positive humans that just get it. Get it.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
And I love it because we do sound like a bunch of cheerleaders.
Yeah, but I don't know that I've ever been a bigger cheerleader in my life. I mean, I've always been very supportive and love to have fun and all those kinds of things. But when you're in a community like that and you're surrounded like that, it just raises it all. Like you find yourself doing it even more because you're getting more than you give a lot of times even.
Yeah,
that's
without
important
a doubt.
Celebration.
Yeah, without a doubt. What's been the hardest lesson for you to learn?
So truly, I would say that it really is all a choice. And I think people don't want to know that or hear that. I know I don't always, but it's really a choice. You can be angry. You can be upset. You can stop. You can quit. You can say it's never going to happen. You can.
Yep.
You also don't have to. You also can choose the other side of it. And I think that's maybe a lesson I'll be learning forever or reminding myself of forever, because I find that when I get stuck or I am angry or something happens and I think, oh my gosh, what? But if I can just in that moment say, is that what I want to choose that means? Or I mean, it can be as simple as road rage. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and you go, that person's a jerk. Or you could say, oh, I hope somebody's not, I hope they're not rushing to the hospital. Yeah. And just let them in and go.
Well, that's my chapter, 2 choices. We only have 2 choices in any situation. Either do it or don't do it, move forward, move backwards. You know, there's only 2 choices. We can muck it up all we want, but in the end, it's clear there's only 2 choices. And you're right. We always have the choice. But here's the thing. It's okay if you want to be angry. I know there was a time when I chose to be cranky. I want to be cranky. Today I'm going to be cranky. I just want to be in the crank. And then I get bored of it. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on. You know, but sometimes we just need to be cranky or angry or unhappy. It's okay. But just understand that you can change to the other side and make the other choice at any point. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It doesn't not to feel your feelings.
Right.
Feel your feelings.
Right.
Or something hurts, it hurts.
Right.
You just don't have to stay there. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to take it on. Yeah. You know, you can change that meaning. So
yeah, totally agree. So what like cliche or phrase that you either didn't believe or now do, or you feel people don't take serious enough? What would you say?
Okay, so I know what I would say for this one immediately, because it's the you always hear like the 5 people that you surround yourself with is who you are. Like that makes up that's who you're going to be. So if you are around people who, just say like are negative and they don't want to move forward and they gossip and, all that's going to be,
Ew.
That's you.
Ew.
Yes, right? So I know. And so I heard it for years and years and years. And I used to, especially like in the Tony Robbins trainings and all that, he focuses on that so much. It's like, you've got to change who you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
You've got to change that. And I would say, yes. And how? Because I'm joining the PTA. I am doing, I'm volunteering for work. I'm doing the things. I'm not finding these people.
We're here.
So it would be so that I was like, I want to, I get it, but and part of me, I do feel like I didn't really want to in at that time.
Well, it's not easy. Let's be honest. To find each other, right. We are coming from all over the country to find people who are vibing where we're vibing, but you have to look for it. And that's where a community like ours is really important, because although I may not be surrounded every day with all the positivity, I create that positivity for myself, and then I get to speak to beautiful people like you. Right, exactly. Yeah.
And you can create that way, but I think it's letting go of things that don't serve you either. So like that, I wasn't finding those people in the PTA, so I stopped doing it.
Yes.
Like if that's, and then I looked at different ways. Right now, I'm big into book clubs and hiking groups. Which I never thought I'd love to read, but hike. But
seriously.
I really wanted to be outdoors. I wanted to be healthier. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be more limber. So I joined a hiking club, and I have met the most amazing people.
Nice.
And they are pushing, right? They're like, are you going on a hike this week? Are you going on a hike, this night, that night, the weekend? And, so it has pushed my focus on my health, my body, my fitness way up. But of course, I'm surrounding myself with those people now. So then you can even think about it that way in terms of what do you want to change? What do you want to up level? And find people in that area.
Absolutely, 100%. And 2023 is just around the corner, and we have an opportunity to change those 5 people around us. If they are not your raving, supporting fans, you surround yourself with people who are honest with you, who love you, good, bad, and ugly, and who make you a better person, who just honor the human that you are and allow you the space to become the human that you're going to become. I love that. That's a really, really seriously great statement that you make. What's your why? What's your why, Addy? Why do you do what you do?
I do it because I want other people to feel that fulfillment that I'm feeling. Because I think we keep striving for success, but I think what we really want is fulfillment. And that's different. So I want to share that with people. And I think if we were all living in our purpose, which I think can be hard to find and figure out. I'm still figuring a lot of that out. But I do think if we could align ourselves with what we feel, where we feel purposeful, where we feel we are helping or giving an impact or serving, I think it's a whole different life experience. I think it changes the way everything feels.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why.
Yes. No, I totally agree. Find the joy. Find something that makes you joyful, and then find a way to make it into something that you can make money at. It's a definition of success and is not necessarily money. Wealth doesn't necessarily mean money. It means family and friends and whatever it means to you. Success is different for everyone. It's defined differently. And it's just what I think I've come to the conclusion of, and this is just my perception, is if you're joyous and joyful and loving life and just, really letting that crisp air hit your face and recognizing it or, taking in the sounds of the birds around, and it's the little things in life, to me, that's successful. That is successful. When we're serving other people, that is successful. So it's just whatever your definition of success is, that's what it is. That's really what it is. So what's next for you, my girl?
2023, I think it's going to be a big year. I am excited. I'm launching a new membership plan with monthly training and connection. I'm launching a mastermind opportunity, which I think I agree with you, Lorianne, if you don't have a coach and your coach doesn't have a coach, you're missing out.
Run away.
Right? And I think if you're not masterminding, you're missing out. I think a true mastermind, not a gathering to just chat and whatever, but a true masterminding with real accountability, I think can take your progress forward exponentially faster.
Agreed.
Than if you're just doing it with a coach or just by yourself or anything. But I think it's just an incredible environment to be a part of. So those are a couple of things that I'm doing next year. So
yeah. It's funny because I have a membership program as well, and I have 3 now masterminds going, and it is exponential improvement and progress. Each person is progressing at the level they need to. So it's wonderful. I love that you do that. I hope you do more retreats. I really want to ask you to come back because I know you have another book that talks about your healing relationship with your mom. I'd love to have you back to talk about that. Talk about your retreats, your membership program, your masterminds. Would love to have you back on, Addy.
Oh, I would love to be back. This has been such a wonderful time. I just love chatting with you.
Oh my gosh, I love it too. And thank you so much. And thank you for being my raving supporting fan. You've just been so lovely, and I do appreciate you so very much. And I feel very blessed to have you in my life. So thank you for that. And I cannot wait. And I'm sure our listeners, I'm getting a lot of feedback right now. I know our listeners will love to have you back to talk about your other book as well.
Oh my gosh, that would be my pleasure. And I am a raving fan because you are absolutely amazing. You are a bright light in this world.
You're a doll. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope we've earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank my guest today, Addy. You can visit her at theradicalchanginggroup.com. Get more information. Just drop down into all the information associated with this recording. If you are looking for a business coach, accountability strategy, directing, a sounding board, someone to help you streamline your business and more, just reach out to us at ldcstrategies.com or reach out to me personally at 516-983-3591. We can certainly help you soar to success. Shameless plug. Number 1, international bestseller, Women Who Dream. Addy is one of the authors in it, as well as I am, and it can be found on Amazon. Just look for it, or you can get a signed copy if you go to our website, ldcstrategies.com. Thank you again for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. Look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on JVC Broadcasting, and you can follow us on iHeartRadio. Until next time, I am Lorianne Casdia. Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up. That's right, show up big. Have a great day. Bye.